This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. Inmates, dignitaries, and corrections officers gathered today at the Bahamas Corrections Center for the opening of the Lady Clara Smith Library and Resources Center in the female inmate section of the prison. Lady Clara Smith, patron of the library and the spouse to the Governor General, shedding tears of joy as the library was unveiled. She says it was a big dream of hers.
For me, this event is proof that dreams do come true. It has been my dream to contribute to helping inmates gain the skills and make it easier for them to make a positive contribution to the society to which they will return. It is my sincere hope that this library will, in some small way, help in that effort. Ladies and gentlemen, this library is intended to give individuals the opportunity to read for information, for inspiration, for knowledge, to gain new skills or develop new hobbies.
While acknowledging that prisoners may experience loneliness during their jail time, she notes that reading will allow them to explore the world through the eyes of others. She says the library is filled with Bahamian books and makes this appeal to Bahamian writers everywhere.
I am particularly proud of the Bahamian authors who have so gratefully donated so many Bahamian books. We have contributed these books to this library. I make this special appeal to Bahamian writers everywhere to continue to contribute their work to this institution. In addition, I also want to thank so many persons who have already contributed to this project.
Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe, while giving remarks at the ceremony, says the Davis administration is committed to making sure that offenders do not reoffend and highlighted goals of a new correctional facility in the National Development Plan Vision 2040.
As has been announced by the Honorable Prime Minister, we have committed, in accordance with Vision 2040, to building a new correctional facility. It will be located on this campus. It'll be in the area where the current virtual court is, back past in the area of the baseball diamond. It will be a high-medium facility. It will include housing for medium, minimum. It'll include a women's wing. It'll include a hospital wing, and it will include facilities for the first time specifically designed for mentally challenged inmates, which is problematic in the general prison population. And per Reverend William Thompson, it will contain a chapel.
Minister Monroe says these initiatives are critical components of the prison environment, and it is threefold and designed to support educational, recreational, and rehabilitative programs to garner a sense of normalcy for the prisoners. The Minister of Health, Dr. Michael Dowell, speaking on the issue of mental health in the country as a result of the pandemic, says we are beginning to see more individuals suffer mental breakdowns who were previously functional before the shocks of the pandemic. He made the remarks while he discussed the current state of the country at the assessment of the effects and impacts of COVID-19 pandemic in the Bahamas, held by the American Development Bank on Wednesday.
If you would just open your eyes for a moment, you'll begin to see that there's more people showing up on the street with obvious signs of mental illness. It's a very complex situation because there are people who are vulnerable, and it only takes certain shocks for them to tip over and actually begin to display serious signs of mental illness. And so I want to sensitize the media and everyone here that we have a serious problem in the country with mental health. And it has impacted our children in school, it has impacted our performance on the job, and it has impacted our social fiber.
He says the country must move quickly to address this issue, adding that he will soon table in Parliament a bill to replace the current Mental Health Act. All greenhouse gas reduction reports will be transparent and carefully recorded. This much according to Rochelle Newbold, Special Advisor for Climate Change and Environmental Matters at the Office of the Prime Minister. She makes the remarks at a hybrid town hall meeting Wednesday night that was held to discuss the specifics of the Climate Change and Carbon Markets Initiative bill. The special advisor says keeping records is extremely vital to the process, noting that the government will not be making guesses or assumptions. Young people should remain at the helm as the Bahamas drives the climate change agenda. This much according to Vaughn Miller, Minister of the Environment and Natural Resources, as he gave remarks at the reopening or the opening ceremony of the Bahamas Youth Conference on Climate Change on Wednesday. The two-day format kicked off Wednesday with youth gathering at the University of the Bahamas to discuss the current climate change and related issues, along with other topics.
For far too long, we have not placed sufficient emphasis on the importance of our young people in our global efforts to address the climate change crises. We have just not taken you seriously. Let me repeat that. Young people, for far too long, we have not taken you seriously. Oftentimes, we have ignored your input and have relegated your experiences and input to just, quote, voices on the side, end quote. But those of you here today who would have attended previous international climate change meetings know all too well what I'm talking about. But as of today, it's going to be a different story.
The minister addressed those in attendance by calling the ascent of climate change over the past 10 years a non-conventional acceleration, speaking to the vulnerability of low-lying island states like the Bahamas in the face of the crisis. He had this to say.
Increased flooding in low-lying areas and the more powerful sea surges all threaten our country's very existence. The isolationist policies that we have seen over recent times appear to be efforts to reverse the successes made over the years as it relates to addressing the threat of global warming and climate change. These policies simply will not address the many challenges that our young people will face in addressing our climate threats should we continue to maintain the status quo.
He contends that now is the time to revisit and strengthen international agreements if the Bahamas intends to save future generations, also encouraging those in attendance to return home with renewed passion and conviction and to not be hesitant to put their ideas forward to add to the conversation and solutions to the climate change crisis. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jareno Saunders. Thanks for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.